What is going on, stream? It's been a minute. Just kind of jumping into it tonight. Just a little bored. I want to kind of see what some Power Query things that have just been on my mind. Just general curiosities. So definitely feel free to leave a message in the chat or just, shoot me messages randomly. I am open for business. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into Power Query. Getting weird restreams. It's pretty awesome. All right. So something I was kind of realizing earlier is that the list only goes to 2, 1, 4. Hey, Raheem. I'm trying to manage my chats as well as I possibly can. All right, so unsigned int goes up to 2,147,847. Is that off the top of my head? Still works. 2,140 is that's only 2 million. Well, let's find this number here. 32 bits. Is this even lower? No. Hit range. Assigned. There we go. 147. 483,647. Whew. So that's a list. If I try and turn this to 48, it gives me error. The number is out of range of a 32-bit integer value. So the list, kind of its max range is that of 32. Which is always fun, right? Considering we have a 64-bit. And it is definitely slowing down. Trying to figure out here what is killing my performance. I definitely hope it is not the, man, it's like really lagging here for me. Come on. Come on. Field and PC. PC is actually cool. So check out a resource manager. Oh man, it's dying. Let me try and mute things or try and get back whatever performance I can on this. Let's kill Steam. Let's kill a couple other things here. I mean, it's not that bad in terms of memory consumption. Kind of OBS being the kind of the expected worst. Power BI desktop a little bit. Stream quality is in the red. Oh, wow. Let me try and close out of Power BI. I mean, I don't know if that would be really what's killing me right now. Here in terms of general consumption. So I mean, it is slow. It's clicking. It's clicking. I don't know if you guys can see that delay. Kind of how bad it is. Resource monitor. Yeah, I mean OBS and MS Edge. I'd close down Edge. Just see if we can't get a little bit more back. All right, Power BI again. It's making noises when I click things. It responds. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. All right. Cool. All right. Back to a list. 1, 2, 1, 4, 7, 4, 8, 6, 4, 8, 3, 4, 8, 7. Is that right? All right, so we're definitely out of range. So kind of first things that I'm noticing here are list max kind of range is only that of the 32 bits. So let's convert this into 2, 4, 8, 4, 8, 3, 4, 8, 7. Just go a little bit in there. We're gonna do table dot from list. Splitter, split by nothing, type table. We can do an ID with int64.type. Awesome. So I mean, we can classify the data type as 64-bit, which once again, I was kind of hoping for more from the list, but if this is the best we got. Kind of a manually created list does not go that high. But let's go ahead and reduce this down a little bit. I'm kind of curious now. 255 for a int 8 dot type. Actually, let's go 1,000,000. Cool. So we're going to say that the int 8 dot type is kind of our upper boundary here, and our range. I'm going to do a close and apply. And just kind of looking at the apply here, it should yell at us relatively quickly and saying, hey, you're way too far out of that range. Yep, look at all these errors. Ironically, though, it doesn't kick me out. we're kind of zoom into that a little bit. Jump back into our errors. It doesn't actually keep any errors. So we told it in 8, go up to 255, and then from there, it just doesn't even know what the error is. That's pretty funny. So let's do int 16. Because I have interesting theories about a lot of this stuff. Yep. Especially as it relates to the a data flow, perhaps, and then kind of once again here, just showing errors. I would be curious though. I might sign back up here, so give me one moment. Signing into my own tenant, which is always fun. Doing a quick approve. Stay signed in. Yeah. I think I have to purchase a Power BI account real quick here. Just some things kind of getting shuffled recently. Oh, man. All right. Can't believe I'm having to pay for a Microsoft product. This is killing me. All right, purchase services. Excel is everyone's jam. Yes. No Google Sheets. Whoever thought that was going to take over the world was strongly mistaken that day. I don't need Power BI free. Have you started playing around with Power BI at all? kind of here within the kind of the next succession. Subscription disabled. Power BI Pro assigned to users. Alex Bowers. There we go. Well, this is killing me a little bit. Apparently I will have to contact a global IT to kind of get a Power BI Pro license, because it is definitely not within my plan for Business Premium. Products and services, Power BI Pro. Purchase. Well, that's annoying. Basically, kind of my suspicions are that I think the model.json that is now being outputted from data flows, you could potentially bypass the 64-bit and store them as a 16-bit in the CSV, in the data lake. And I'm almost curious if it will give the same errors or if it'll just kind of power through. Because it's not really attached to the model at that point. And even now it kind of upgrades. So if I was to even say, just leaving it as a ambiguous. So if we were to do type any, can we just do any? Yep, ABC123, close and apply. Let's go ahead and push that through, and it should store that as a text value. Yep, kind of here within the left. So let's try that again. Let's just do number. So we'll kind of tell it, hey, it could be a decimal. And we're going to delete this now. Just this folder, might as well. Delete group. If we were to run the same kind of query here within Microsoft Excel, I almost wonder if it's going to give us any of the same errors, which I doubt. The source is blank query. How is this an unlicensed product? It's kind of a same. Let's do 1,000,000 table dot. Oh wow. Table dot from lists. Splitter dot split. Called ID equals and 16 dot type. Let's do this test. And this is via Excel. Basically stating 16-bit. I don't really think that it'll have, because it's not loading to a model. I'm almost curious now. So closing the load, is it going to yell at me for being outside of the range of a 16-bit integer? Yep. But will it load the data? Because remember when we looked at the errors, it didn't actually show anything. So can we get to 1,000,000? Nope. So it stops at 32,762, but my table range goes further. My table range goes all the way down to 1,000,000. Well, that's certainly interesting. All right, I'm just thinking about this now. So it still loaded the complete structure. So from 1 to 1,000,000. Loading them as blank or null values. Did the same thing happen in Power Query? Let's go and take a look here for Power BI. I will be curious if it creates a 1,000,000 row table with tons of errors, which I don't think it will, because it shouldn't load a table with errors. Or will it? Says it loaded 1,000,000 rows. Yep. 1 million rows with blanks. Wow. So that is interesting. Let's do don't summarize. As you can see there, just kind of a select distinct, select from. All right, so let's just do a simple count. New measure. Let's sort by total counts. Why did it run away? There's an ID. All right, I'm taking a look at this total count. Let's do just a count of test ID. Yeah, let's do a new measure. Is it a blank? Is it a blank? So what is it stored as? What is this value? I think we're breaking it. I think we're breaking the program. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. What is the value here? All right, 1 million rows expected. So it loads in blank. For anyone that may have joined, kind of testing some different theories out here, especially within Power Query, it's int types. The type that represents signed 16-bit integer. So it doesn't actually detect any errors, even though it'll yell at you and say that it has errors. To kind of go past that, 1 million rows loaded, so it will still load the entire kind of size of your table, though it'll error out at a certain point within the rows. But then from there, it'll just load in blanks or otherwise null, kind of for your unknown values. I'm trying to think about this now. So from a kind of a perspective, I'm going to delete this. Also, that's pretty rad that Excel now features that it now features. So what is it? 127 is int 8. $127 bits. So really, I have a lot of questions around what will the data type be stored as within the CSV and the model.json file that's now being created within the Azure Data Lake and data flows, and then kind of obviously re-importing those, kind of following Matthew Roche's kind of recommendations. If you load in that 8-bit, what will, man? Because you can declare the type. It'll have it. It will store it. It will load it here from kind of a data perspective within Excel, without any, upscaling to 64-bit like in the analysis services model there in Power BI. That'll have to be something I've got to start testing. Unfortunately, I don't have my Power BI Pro account kind of up and running, which for whatever reason. And it says I have an unlicensed product, which is even funnier. Yep. So let's go and close out of that. Cool. As you can see here, kind of within Power BI, it does load those as just null or blank, however you kind of want to interpret those within the analysis services cube. So within the count rows, within the test table, still shows them. I was kind of not expecting that. I was kind of thinking that I would just reject it, but not so. So even if we were to make another query, just do table.from list, and let's do a list of letters from A to Z. Splitter, split by nothing. We don't have any split bys. Type table, and we'll call it alpha equals number. So we'll just kind of force into thinking that this is a kind of a decimal I mean, it will definitely reject this. So we'll do close and apply. Query 1. 26 rows loaded, 26 errors. Man, am I out of the loop that bad? Is it just loading the entire structure? 26 rows? Refresh data. Licensed. That's too funny. So still load the structure with errors. Kind of interesting things will be how does the model store the file, especially when it comes to using Azure Data Factory, kind of going forward. How will all of that be read now that that is being created, the model file as well? That's kind of the global standard, especially from the ETL perspective, that I think they're pushing for. I don't have a lot of insider information either in the know or to share, but that's the direction I'm feeling from the at least from the outside, is that people are still curious about data flows. I think the marketing material definitely presents it as potentially an ETL solution for enterprises, where it's more like a department level, and that message just hasn't really resonated enough. That's where I'm trying to figure out, if you start doing your ETL in Azure Data Factory, those files get dropped in the data lake. They also produce the model.json file, and then from there that is now connected to the Power BI service and the data flow. So the data flow itself is not created in a Power Query online, but it can be referenced from kind of the Power BI service. That way you do much larger ETL jobs in another tool and still be able to consume it in Power BI. If that's not the route they're going, they definitely need to kind of course correct. But would be some of the initial thoughts, kind of get people there. All right. So not realizing that a list is only able to store 32-bit. Yeah. Let me get the license up and running. We'll kind of come back to this one. Definitely think that there's something here, though. Once I get in that model.json, I should be able to kind of explore it a little bit more, though. But for tonight, signing off. Good to see you guys.